The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello there, everyone. I'm delighted to see all of you here this evening. I want to wish you a happy spring, happy Palm Sunday for those of you who celebrate that, happy Passover for those of you celebrating that holiday. Thank you so much for being here with me this evening. And I'm hoping that everyone, everywhere, is going to enjoy this very special time of the year as we move into, well, today, Palm Sunday, next weekend, for those of you who are Christian, Good Friday and Easter. Again, Passover's around this time, and probably a host of other holidays I don't even know about. I know spring is certainly one of them. And folks, this is a time of year to be joyous, to be excited about things growing and being birthed and happening in your life. It's time to get on with things, isn't it? So I want to welcome you all here with me this evening. I've got our Astrology Chart cast for all of your questions this evening. That's what you're seeing on the slide that's in front of you on my PowerPoint. And while we're looking at that slide, let me just kind of zip around and make a couple of announcements, and then we're going to just jump right in. First of all, the next, do I have that right? Yes, this is our psychic hour for March 28th. I'm actually looking backwards here. Our next psychic hour, please, on the opposite corner, is on, I have the wrong date here, don't I? So let's just double create that.
I believe it's April 25th.
Thank you. Okay, normally I get these up early enough, and Lisa manages to correct me early so you don't have to look at all the wrong dates. So now you can see that it's been corrected. Our next psychic hour, please make a note of it in your own calendar so that you can be back here next month with me too. And that next one is going to be April 25th of 2021. And tonight, of course, is our March psychic hour. It's the very end of the month. It almost feels like April, doesn't it? This was a late one. And next month is going to be pretty late in the month too, but that's good. That's good. It'll give us real insight into some really interesting stuff that's coming up in May that I will tell you about next month when we meet. The other things I want to talk about, I'm going to move back onto the left side here so you can read along with me. Those of you who have been really holding out and waiting for my psychic cruise, folks, I hope you're not going to lose sleep over this, but I have decided to postpone the cruise indefinitely. And just so you understand my reading reasons, the first year in 2019, we actually postponed it because our organizer got incredibly sick and was unable to go. So we postponed it. When we were going to go in 2020, COVID hit and no cruise ships were sailing. So we postponed it again. And we decided to put it on to 2021, which is next year. And normally I would be actually starting to do my marketing and take reservations for that cruise right now. But I can't do that because cruise ships are doing a lot of different things right now. They're by law as well as choice. They're having people wear masks, which a lot of people object to the whole time you're on board if you're in public places. And you're also having to have proof of a vaccination in order to board the cruise ships. All of the ocean-going ships are doing that right now. And as of July, the river cruises will also be doing that. And unfortunately, we really are very divided on that. We have a lot of people who are not wanting to get the vaccinations. So rather than get in the middle of all of that turmoil, I've decided to postpone it indefinitely until the world returns to a little more normalcy. So that could change, but as of right now, we are not planning a cruise, okay? So if you've been waiting on it, or if you've still got money that you're floating on it until it runs again, you might want to look into getting your money back or just floating it for a longer time. Okay, my next announcement, my reading special for this coming month, for April, is going to be identifying and planning your action plan going forward Now, all of us have come through a very difficult year. Some of us a couple of difficult years. And we are moving forward into what my guides predict are going to be clear skies, a lot of better things coming our way. That's wonderful. But we need to be able to identify what those things are, and we need to be able to make plans for them, a flexible action plan. And that's what my April reading special is all about. So if you want that special, you can go and read about it in my newsletter, how to get it. And Lisa will make sure that you get set up right and you are able to get that reading from me. Now, if you purchase that special reading, I'm offering something that will go with it, and that is a 50% off discount. 50%, that's amazing, off of my Psychic Development Tips course. Now, that's not available to anybody. It's only available to people who purchase the reading special. Now, the Psychic Development Tips course, of course, is always available for purchase, but that would be at its regular price. Now, I also have a note here. Please pay attention. You know, it's that time of year as we move into the spring. We're starting to look forward to the summer months. And as we begin July, folks, my Kabbalah Pathworking, a 6-month-long class that is life-changing, spiritual, consciousness elevating, is going to be offered. And if you want to get in that class, do try to sign up early, because that class is limited in the number of people that I can handle in it, and it will fill up. I also want you to, maybe following tonight's class, tonight's session, check out the new open community that is on the website. That's kind of like Facebook. You can go on, you can chat about anything in the field of metaphysics. I would hope that you keep it to your own experiences and your interests, and things that are relative to spirituality, to metaphysics, to your studies, to readings you've had, experiences you've had. And it's open to anyone as long as you've signed up for my newsletter. When you sign up for my newsletter, you get an invitation to the open community. It's a great place to share your ideas, your thoughts with people who are like-minded and who are going to be supportive of you. So check it out. I think you're going to like that. I also want you to check out, if you are a VIP member, I want you to go to the VIP area and check out all of my new offerings. I've got all of my astrology classes now on MP3 downloadable, fully downloadable audio in the VIP area. And if you're not a VIP, that is reason enough to want to become one. That's many, not that I want to be mercenary, but that's many, many thousands of dollars worth of classes that have now been put into the VIP area, where you can study them for a mere $197 a year or $20 a month. So that's my gift to you, really. It's an absolutely fabulous opportunity. So go and check out all the new offerings there. On to the other side, we have an app. If you haven't downloaded it, please do. It's going to make looking at everything on the website easier. Even well, not the psychic hours, or maybe yes, the psychic hours come through GoToMeeting, so you can look at them, but I think you have to download the GoToMeeting app if you want an app for that. But for just about everything else on my website, everything's going to come through that app. Now, just another little announcement. I'm now, and you know this from the last couple of times we met, I'm working with this very wonderful lady, Sharon, and Sharon Lynn Wyatt, and every odd month, the second week, I will be on with her. And so the next time I'm going to be on is May 13th, and she's going to be interviewing me about psychic protection. And you know, that we were discussing what was our topic, what should it be? And my guides came in and said, psychic protection. Everybody's going to be needing that at that time. And it's also going to explain so much to so many people about what's been going on that's been affecting everybody. And yes, there's something you can do about it, which is a wonderful thing to know. So listen to me and Sharon talk about psychic protection on May 13th. And the reason I'm announcing that now is because our next psychic hour comes after that. I'm not going to have a chance to announce it to you. So please put that in your calendar as well. And that, of course, is on the OM radio network. And you can go onto my website to find out exactly how to get to that and listen to it. You can also find the past events that I've done with her that are archived on my website. VIPs, just a note for you, our next coaching call, and Lisa, has this changed or is this still April 22nd? What's our date on there? Can we be sure?
If we change that today, it will be the 8th.
Okay, I thought we might have. So I'm going to change that right now. So please don't write down the 22nd. There we go. Write down the 8th. It's going to be on April 8th of 2021. So if you're a VIP, please make note of that. I'm sorry I changed the date, but it's going to just work out better with all the scheduling that Lisa and I were taking a look at. We've got a lot going on, folks. So that's going to flow better. I also want you, and this is big, this is my biggest announcement of the evening, folks. I want you to save this date. Save the date. Read right here where I've got my cursor. We have R&R coming up in the fall of 2021. R&R being a reunion retreat. It's firm. We have a date. It's going to be from September 30th to October 3rd. And it's going to be held at the Sanibel Beach Club Resort on Sanibel Island in Florida. And folks, if it's anywhere near as good as the one that we had in 2019, which was our first land-based retreat, we had it at the same place. Oh God, you guys are going to definitely want to be there. And I will definitely be posting more and more and more about that soon, because our plans are well underway, and we're going to have everything all set up for you to look at and scope out and decide, how many of your friends you want to bring with you and how long you want to stay, et cetera, et cetera. We'll have all that ready for you to check out on the website very soon. But meanwhile, please save that date. Okay, we're getting ready to jump into our session this evening. Let me remind you, for those of you who are new, this is how we work it. For those of you who've been here before, it's a reminder. On the page, you're going to see a place where you can raise your hand. There's a little hand at the top of the column. I want you to click on that hand if you have a question that you would like to ask me. Lisa's in the chat room, and you can also write your question in the chat room for her to read out if you're shy and you don't want to say it. I also have an announcement that I want to make, always do, that if you don't get read by me this evening, everyone who's on the call tonight is invited sometime between now and 9 p.m. tomorrow night to send me one question, simple question, direct question, not a book, that I will be glad to email you an answer back to. My guides and I will do that for you. That's you're taking your time to be here tonight to listen in, and I'm going to take my time and my guide's time to answer your question. So that's my way of saying thanks to you. So everyone who's here will get one question if you choose to take that, okay? But it has to reach me by 9 p.m. tomorrow night, and you can either connect with me on the email attached to this platform, or you can send your question to Lisa and she will route it through to me, okay? Either way is fine. Now, when Lisa calls on you, here's the 4 bits of information that my guides and I want from you. We would like your first name only. We'd like to know where you're calling from. That's 2 pieces of information. We want to know your sun sign. Are you a Leo, a Gemini, an Aries? We want to know your sun sign. We want to know what you are most grateful for in your life right now. Right now, this moment. And then you get to ask your specific question. And you're going to find that just from your sun sign, using this chart, which is a horary throwaway astrology chart that talks about everyone who's on the call with me this evening. Isn't that wonderful? It's only for right now, and it's only for you. Tomorrow, it's no good for anybody anymore. It's good for you right now, looking at what's going on in your life. So when you give me your sun sign, my guides are going to be able to look at what's going on for you right now. And they can be pretty darn accurate. And what's nice about that is that everybody else who is listening to that information when you're asking your questions is going to be getting a whole lot of information for themselves. So you see, my guides have a way of reading everybody on the call at the same time, not just the person who's asking the question. So do pay attention, even if it's someone else who's getting the reading. And Lisa, I'm ready to get started.
All righty. First, I want to say happy full moon in Libra to all you Libras out there. I'm excited. I'm a Libra. I love it. Okay. So the first victim for tonight is going to be Sandra. Sandra, it says you're self-muted. Can you unmute yourself? Sandra S.
Maybe she stepped away. It happens.
It does happen. All right, well, let me go to the next one, and maybe we'll come back to her if we have time. I have to scroll. We have so many in the room today. All right, let's try Dolores. Can you unmute?
Yes, hi. Hi, can you hear me, Sandy?
Yes, I can. Hello, Dolores.
Oh, hi. Nice to be here this evening and to talk with both of you. My sun sign's a Taurus, and I live in Toronto, Canada, and I'm very grateful for my partner. He's so supportive, and it's been a rough year, and he's just been really there for me. And my question is, it's just a general question about, so my solar year is coming up, my solar return is coming up, and I'm just curious about what I might be able to look forward to. Last year was maybe one of the worst years of my life, so I'm just looking for some good news.
Okay. Oh boy, that's a packed question.
Or sorry, just one thing then. It's a big question.
No. What you're asking is exactly what you should be. My guides have a way, and Lisa works with my guides too. They like her. And they have a way of choosing the people who are going to ask the right questions that are going to give many, many, many people on the call tonight the answer that they need. So when I say, boy, is that a packed question, I don't mean it was too big. I mean, it's a packed question. You get it? Okay.
I get it.
As I don't know, my guides are saying you haven't just dabbled in astrology, you've dabbled in tarot and a lot of other metaphysical things too. And so you understand when I say that as you were talking, I'm pulling tarot cards too. And the first tarot card I pulled is an inverted page of Pentacles, which said that you're a Taurus. You're about money and stuff. All Taurians are, no matter how spiritual you are. That's part of what you're here to learn to do. Well, the money and stuff for you has been a problem lately. And also, there is that connection to higher self and to guides that you are apparently used to having that hasn't been working so well for you lately. So that's kind of a difficulty too. You also have a inverted Queen of Wands that came up for you. And that talks about you, even though you're a Taurus, also having a lot of Aries qualities. So you're a very fiery Taurus. Why? Because Queen of Wands is a fiery lady, isn't she? And that Queen of Wands energy is inverted, which means that you're kind of imploding on yourself. You're going through even if you haven't said it, gone through a difficult year, that tells me that you have been really hard on yourself and you have been struggling, not just financially, but physically, and you've been tremendously concerned about somebody else in your life as well who has big, big physical problems. And we also have an inverted moon. So there's been very powerful emotional stress and difficulty, both for you as well as for this other person who looks to be a female, by the way, that you have a very strong psychic link to that you maybe have to break. And then we have a inverted 6 of swords, which says that you, please listen to this one, you have had several opportunities in this last year to remove yourself from these stress-producing situations. And for emotional reasons and your extremely powerful sense of responsibility, you have not removed yourself. You've chosen to go down with the ship. Remember, that's choice. Always, my guides are saying, always remember that wherever you are in life at this moment, you are there by choice. Be clear that there have been opportunities and you have made choices that led you to this moment, to this space. It's so important to recognize that, to take responsibility for those choices, because even though sometimes we may not like where our choices have placed us, by recognizing we're here by choice, we empower ourselves. And that tells us we can do anything. So if choice has led you to here, choice can also lead you out of here. It can lead you forward. Are you following me?
Yes, absolutely. I'm following you.
Okay. Now, let's look at the astrology chart, because this is also going to pertain to so many other people on the call, not just the Tauruses. Folks, Taurus is a fixed sign. And there are 4 fixed signs: Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. If you are any one of those 4 fixed signs, you also had a really, really horrible year last year. Now, everybody who's on the call can say, you know, my year wasn't so great either. COVID struck, lockdown struck, and that's true. But if you were a fixed sign, it was harder. Okay? And here's the reason why. Pure and simple. I'm sorry to be pointing a finger at you, all you fixed signs. But you see this little planet over here? This is her, Taurus, sitting right on the ascendant of this chart, which is what we're supposed to talk about tonight. The ascendant is things coming into light. Isn't that wonderful? And sitting right in the first house, right there on the horizon, is this wonderful planet called Uranus. And the good part about Uranus is it throws opportunities at you right and left. And you've been getting opportunities, you just haven't liked a lot of them. The bad part of Uranus is that while it's throwing these opportunities, it's busy taking every single corner of your life and overturning it. Uranus does not forget to look under every single stone and rock in your whole life. And here's why this particular planet in a fixed sign is so hard for the fixed sign people to deal with. Get the word fixed. Do you honestly think fixed signs like change? Okay. And here's Uranus, the planet that we associate with evolution and revolution. Yes, you heard me right. It changes everything it touches. It takes great joy in painting that room you want to sleep in 5 times a month. Okay? You name it. If you are having a transit of Uranus, life can't stay the same. Every single morning brings something new. Matter of fact, maybe every single minute of every day brings something new. Now, when that happens to somebody who's a mutable sign like me, Gemini, that's mildly irritating. But I flow with it. I'm mutable. I'm changeable to begin with. But when that happens to a fixed sign, Taurus, Scorpio, Aries, Aquarius rather, and Leo, to you guys, that's kind of like somebody destroying your life. Every minute of every day, getting it redestroyed. Okay? Oh my goodness. And Taurus, out of all the fixed signs, I honestly think Taurus is the most fixed, at least as far as stability and stuff and needing to be grounded in your space is concerned. So yeah, you've been going through craziness because all the things that you rooted your security in have changed. Every single last one of them. People that you trusted, you couldn't trust. Places that you liked to go had shut down. Things that made you know you were going to be safe next year just disappeared. They sort of just fizzled away. Okay. So here you are saying, oh my God, it's all gone. The people I could count on, the things that made me feel secure, everything's gone and it hurts and everybody is crazy and they're all acting weird. I can't even have a conversation with, is this sounding too familiar? With somebody without it going down a path I don't want to talk about. And you're tending, because you're a fixed sign, to look at the things that you can't hold on to anymore, the things that are being ripped out of your hands. You need to force yourself to look away from the things you've lost and look towards the things, the opportunities, the new people, the new ideas, the new feelings, the new emotional connections that are coming in. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did. Thank you, Sandy.
And as soon as you change your direction, this is for all of you fixed signs, folks, and I'm going to expand this. Every single one of us on this call, because you see, there are a lot of planets that you have in your chart, aren't there? So every person on this call, I guarantee you, has at least one planet in a fixed sign. So to some degree, we're all feeling this. It's just that you're feeling it, Dolores, a whole lot more than most of us. And so are all the other fixed sign people here. But that doesn't mean that as soon as you learn to refocus and start to look at the opportunities and get excited about them, because that's your engine for creation, is your excitement, all of a sudden life gets better. The sun comes up. Now, your question was, can you tell me about the good things that are coming up? I see you, because up until now you hadn't talked to me, I see you focusing on so many of those things you've lost that are bad, that have created so much emotional stress that you just don't know how you can go on without filling those holes in your life. The good stuff that's coming up, I see you getting past that and getting past it quickly once you make the decision to get past that. I see you consciously letting go of a few other people. Notice these are people I'm talking about. And then your stress level is going to be a whole lot better. And that's when the sun really starts to come out. And I see you having learned, and this is going to be quick, within maybe 2 months, it's fast. I see you having learned what not to put up with, who not to listen to, what you don't want to do or have in your life anymore. And as you set those boundaries, yes, boundaries, oh, wow, healing for you and your immediate loved ones occurs. And it's fast. It's unbelievably fast once you make the decision to take care of yourself and your own needs. Okay? And you're going to learn along the way, once you start putting your feet on the ground, that there have been a whole lot of people and situations around you that were kind of underhanded and sneaky and weren't showing you the truth. So truth is coming out in your life. Do not be afraid of it. Initially, it's scary. Initially, it's like, oh my God, I didn't know. Well, once you are facing and open to the truth in every aspect in your world, guess what? Everything gets better, because the truth always brings the light with it. Always. Every single time. Okay? Even when sometimes the truth is hard to bear. Now, there is some kind of a physiological problem going on. I don't know if surgery will be required. That might be getting talked about. I don't think it's needed. That's what my guides say. Get second and third opinions. I see health returning, both physically and emotionally. Okay? All you fixed signs, everybody on the call, I hope you were listening to that, because I suspect every other call that we get this evening is going to touch upon that in some way. Now, Dolores, before I let you go, you didn't tell us. What are you most grateful for in your life right now?
Oh, I did say I'm very grateful for my partner.
Yes, you did.
He's been very supportive, and it's been a difficult year, as I said, without going into all the details, but he's been there every step of the way. So I'm very grateful for him in my life.
Very, 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 very good. Congratulations. That's
Thank you so much, Sandy. That reading was spot on.
good. Make the best use of it. That's your job. And Lisa, who's our next person?
Okay, the gal I called on initially, Sandra, can't find her mic, but she did write her question in the chat room. So I'm going to read that out. If my chat will quit bouncing. Quit writing, people. It's moving my chat. All right. Today is Sandra's birthday, so happy birthday, Sandra. So that tells you what her sun sign is. She's Sandra. She's grateful today for her home. She spent all her birthday weekend redoing the decor because she treasures her environment. So she wanted to ask you if her spirit guides had any special messages for her today, and is love coming?
You're gonna love this one. First of all, Sandra is an Aries. For those of you who don't know what today's sun sign is, and happy birthday, Sandra. Now, as an Aries, we find Sandra up here in the 12th house of this chart. Okay. This part of the astrology chart represents the unconscious and the subconscious. So, Sandra, you were really doing today exactly what you should have been doing. You were taking time for yourself. You were taking time to do things that were artistic and creative. And the most important thing is that the things you were doing were setting your mind and your emotions free so that you could just be. Because when you're just in that state of pure being, is when things can kind of fall into place and organize themselves within you. So while you were doing all that work on the house and all this wonderful stuff that you were telling us about, you were also doing work on your inner self. And it, I think, was a wonderful way to spend your birthday. So again, happy birthday and congratulations. You right now and all the Aries, in fact, all the cardinal signs on this call, cardinal signs being Aries and Libra, like my assistant, and Capricorn and Cancer, all of the cardinal signs right now, like you, are spending a lot of time working on their homes and their environments because there's a T-square here I'm following my cursor, there's a T-square in the cardinal signs that is pushing the energy out to the root of the chart, which is Cancer, the sign, and Cancer is about home and family. So a lot of you cardinal sign people are spending time socially with friends. You're getting foundation educations under you. You're spending time with your siblings. And you're also working on family and family strength and family issues. And you're also working on your physical environments because you all love those physical environments, at least right now you do. And there are probably some of you who are working on those environments just because you have to also. Some of you may be working on that environment because you're trying to fix it up and sell it. Okay? Because we have all kinds of things going on if you're a cardinal sign with moving and shifting and changing that cornerstone, which is the foundation of your life. Isn't that neat? So you're either dressing it up or you're making it bigger or you're thinking about how and where to move it or what part of the family can you get closer to or what should you do with mom because she's getting older. Oh, there's all this stuff going on. So if you're a cardinal sign, these questions are in your mind. Okay? Now, Sandra says, what can my guides tell me right now? I have an open-ended question. Well, we're going to find her guides in two places. One of them is the very house that her sun signs in. This is the best place for connecting with your guides. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, Sandra, and all of the Aries on this call, if you, like Sandra, want to connect more deeply with your guides, start paying attention to your dreams. It's in your dreams that your guides are already talking to you. And if you want to develop a stronger connection still, take up meditation. And you will find that every time you meditate, you're strengthening that connection to your guides and you're beginning to get messages from them very directly. So this is kind of interesting that you're asking a question that pertains to exactly where the sun falls for you in the chart right now. Isn't that cool? Now, the other place I'm going to find your guides is in the ninth house. We call this spinning the wheel. The ninth house from where your sun is located. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it happens to be a Sagittarius house. So one of the things your guides are going to be talking to you about is travel, perhaps a move, perhaps going back to a career or a job or a financial opportunity that was very good for you years back. So this is some of the stuff that's going on in your mind. Your guides are giving you input for that. They're also saying travel is a great benefit to you right now, whether that is travel through using your fingers on the keyboard as you move through the internet, or whether that's travel, i.e. changing your residence, maybe it's making a long distance move, or maybe going to visit an old friend who lives a distance away. But this is a very good thing for you to be doing right now, okay? So, looking at the cards, your guides are also telling you work. Put your energy into work. That part I'm holding up is a Seven of Pentacles. It talks about work. It says that even though you're concerned with the way things are turning out in your life, i.e. have you made the right choices, the right moves, they're saying that the way that stone was originally cast is where it's going to fall. So no matter what changes you've seen come along for you, everything is going to happen the way you foresaw it. It's also showing me this juggling act. See, that's the juggler, Two of Pentacles, and he's upside down. You've been doing a juggling act. I don't know if there's 2 jobs or 2 homes, but you've been doing a juggling act for a long time. And that juggling act is getting ready to end. It's also showing me the ending of an important relationship around you. And as that this is the thing you were afraid to ask, as that relationship ends, and I'm not sure whether it's going to end through, you're moving away from that person or because they pass, but I see that relationship going away. There's going to be heartache there, but there's also going to be a sense of freedom for both parties that is going to make you whole again. You're going to feel good about that. So thank you very much for asking that question. And I think it helped a lot of other people on the call, not just you. So thank you. And Lisa, who's our next caller? Our next question asker.
Alrighty. Our third victim, I think, is going to be Samantha. Samantha, can you unmute?
I am unmuted. Good evening, everyone.
Hey there, Samantha. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm calling from Florida. I'm a Virgo. I am very grateful that my parents are still alive and living. I just think that's really special for me right now as I'm getting older, so grateful that they are here. My question to you, Sandri, and hello, Lisa, is I'm relocating back to St. Louis, and I'm upbeat, I'm positive about opportunities and new beginnings because I lived there for a long time, but any direction that you could put me forward. I'm an inventor, so I'm always chasing that one invention like an artist, waiting for that one hit song.
Well, I have a couple of things I want to tell you about. Virgo, remember I talked about those mutable signs, like I'm one as a Gemini? Well, Samantha is another mutable sign. She is a Virgo. So that's 2 of them, and there are 2 more. Pisces is the 3rd mutable sign, and Sagittarius is the 4th mutable sign. Now, folks, if you are a mutable sign, please listen in because this will concern you. First of all, there is a T-square. I'm going to draw it for you. There's the one part of the T, and here's the other part of the T that comes through Pisces and points to, guess what? Virgo. So, Samantha, you have been for some time, I suspect, carrying the load of life on your back. Okay, at least that's how it's been feeling to you. And one of the reasons you probably are hoping to move back to St. Louis is because you would like to have a lighter load, if not lighter, at least a different kind of load, okay? Now, that's going to be true of just about every Virgo who's on this call. You guys have been feeling burdened, not just financially and physically, but emotionally by carrying the stress and strain of other people's emotions. See that? Virgo is not normally, pay attention, it is not normally a super empathic sign. It normally is a sign that can throw off other people's emotions and garbage by doing something with its hands or something with its inventions, its creativity, and the rest of the world goes away. So if you have a Virgo in your life, and now I'm specifically talking about Virgo, if you have a Virgo in your life that you get into arguments with and stress, it's probably because you are pushing at them and they're needing to disengage from you. So if you want to make your Virgos happy, leave them alone. And they'll work through their stuff as their little hands move through the next thing, and then they're happy with life again. Okay? How's that for a sort of simplified description of you, Samantha?
That is so true. Of course it is. So true.
Okay. And then that's typical. Most Virgos are like that. You find exceptions to every rule, but most Virgos are like that. But you see, Virgo's always able to disengage. And in disengaging, Virgo drops the stress, they drop the emotion, and they might have totally even forgotten the argument the next time you talk to them. Okay, Virgos can disengage through that tinkering. Now, here's the problem. They can't disengage anymore. Have you noticed that, Samantha? You can't disengage?
I'm noticing that.
Now, why do you think you can't disengage?
It's time to engage. It's universal timing to get more engaged.
Yeah, and this little, it's never going to go away. This little planet up here on the other side of the chart from you, you're here, okay, this empty house. Isn't that nice? That's where you'd like things, but it's not life right now. Because right across the chart from you is Neptune, and Neptune is making you a psychic sponge. And Mercury right now is only 3 degrees away. It's activating it. So guess what? Full moon, right now you are particularly receptive. Even being on this call and being exposed is really upsetting. Okay? The thing is that Neptune is our slowest moving planet right now. And even though it's all the way, 2/3 of the way through the sign of Pisces, it's been there a long time. So you've been developing this empathy and this psychic awareness. A lot of the inventions you're doing, you just get the, oh, wow, I can do that. It's been great for inspiration. It's been great for all those kinds of things. What it's not good for is that you're having a great deal of difficulty keeping the world out. So, folks, if you are a mutable sign, now I'm expanding this to everyone, Virgos especially, but Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius, and Gemini, all of you are having trouble keeping the world out right now. So please be sure to watch my radio show with Sharon on May 13th, because that's what we're going to be talking about. And in the meantime, go to my YouTube channel and watch all my psychic protection tips on YouTube, and get my program. It's a downloadable program that goes through that app that is on psychic protection, and start using all the tools in it. Okay? And not just psychic protection, but learn how to clear yourself when you pick up energy that needs to be gotten rid of. Most of the time, when you are tired, it's not that you're over-energized, or pardon me, under-energized. It's not that you put out too much energy. It's that people have dumped on you because you're so receptive and you're tired from the weight of all that stuff you're carrying. So you need to be better at grounding, lots of salt baths, lots of tree hugging, okay? Lots of sitting on the ground if you don't live where there are fire ants, and lots of tinkering in the garage if you're a Virgo, okay? By the way, if you're a Virgo, you ground by tinkering. It's natural for you. If you're a Sag, you ground by going shopping or traveling. You run away. If you're a Gemini, you ground by talking at other people, and please don't do it to excess because you'll make them tired of you quickly. If you are a Pisces, you ground by escaping into a daydream. You make like the bubble. You can be in the group and you're not even in the group anymore. You just disappeared. Okay? So all of the mutable signs have a different way of grounding, But the rest of us have to allow them to do that grounding. Otherwise, they're going to get explosive. Have you noticed that? Haven't you? That you're starting to explode for almost no reason, and then you're like, "What was I mad about?"
Well, I do notice that it's a little less tolerance of certain things that I find just nonsense, perhaps.
Right. Well, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you say, "I'm not going to tolerate that," and you withdraw or walk away or go to your garage and tinker, you're not exploding, you're not getting into the argument, and so you save yourself that aggravation and the other person as well. But the real reason you're getting to that point is because of all the downloading on you that's happening. So
Right, but I think that goes back to what you were just saying about engaging and disengaging. I mean, there has to be, yeah. And I'm not a recluse or anything, but I have plenty of great network. But that's interesting, your perspective.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to moving back to St. Louis for new opportunities.
And what's interesting is, as we look at travel, okay, from where your sun is, this is the travel house where my cursor is. And guess what? Uranus and Taurus is there. So you want to go back to St. Louis to look at this nice, solid, stable. And girl, it's not going to be. What's going to be interesting, though, is you said you are looking for opportunities, and look at this, Uranus, planet of opportunity, is right there, ready and waiting for you. So you will have opportunities to make tangible those investments and those things that you're working on, those creative projects. You're going to have the opportunities. And there will be probably people there who are going to be willing to back you or help you to move ahead with what you want to do. But this opposition to Neptune comes into play and says, please forgive me for this. Don't trust anybody until they have a contract that they let you take to your attorney to review. Okay?
Thank you. I think that's incredible, solid advice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, it is. Intuitive advice, even. Yes, of course, is what I meant to say.
Yes.
Miss Anastasia.
I know.
Yes,
And
yes, ma'am.
cards I pulled for you, you're right. It's time to leave. It is time to go away from where there's constant emotional pressure that isn't yours. Okay, and there will be less emotional pressure in St. Louis. So life is still going to be chaotic, but it'll be a different kind of chaos. Okay.
I can take chaos. I've trained for this. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing your life a little bit with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Lisa, who's our next victim, as you say?
Alrighty, this time we're going to pick on Cindy. Cindy, you're unmuted. Well, you were. Now you are. Hello, Cindy. You're unmuted.
Yeah, you might have to turn your mic up. I'm not hearing you. Okay, Lisa, I think we're probably going to have to go to the next person, and maybe by the time we're done with the next person, Cindy will have figured out how to get her sound done.
Okay, I keep thinking I'm hearing her, but maybe I'm not. All right, moving on. Going back to the other end of the spectrum here. All right, I'm going to pick on Pamela. Pamela, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, Sandy. It's so nice to see you.
Hi, Pamela. Nice to
and thank you, Lisa, for choosing me. I surely appreciate it. My sun sign is Gemini. I'm from Cape Coral, and what I'm grateful for God, God's blessing for my husband, because he had a stroke, and he's understanding. He can't, really verbalize as, you and I, but he's trying, and I'm very grateful for that.
You
And
know,
it's so good. And it's so good to see you.
I think he's going to succeed. So
Thank you. Thank
let's
you.
keep practicing that. And Pamela, as a Gemini, is over here in the second house. So, Pamela, what's on your mind is your own earning capacity, your finances now and in future, where they're going to come from, your husband and his communication issues. Gemini is the sign of communication, and there's Mars, your husband, right there in that house. I love when the chart talks to you. And your mate would be the person across the chart from you. In astrology, it's the opposite sign, the house of relationship. And there, I don't know if he's a Sag or has a lot of Sag qualities, but Sagittarius is the sign on the other side. And I think the biggest thing for you right now is you're looking at your life and wondering, how am I going to move forward? How am I going to get beyond this current situation where we all feel stuck, we all feel trapped? My husband, in particular, needs to have more in life to look forward to. We all need to have something to look forward to.
Sure.
And you know, this is a big part of your life right now. And guess what? It's coming. Okay. I see you going back. In fact, I'm going to say this to all of the mutable signs. I see you going back to something you've done before. Pamela, would you mind muting your mic until I ask for feedback? Because your mic is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why we're getting that squeak, but it was kind of overpowering on my end. I don't know if everybody else was hearing it, but I was. Okay, so basically we have you and him, okay, and dealing with health problems, and this is his speech and he's recovering from the stroke. But the thing is, he is recovering. This guy's got fabulous recuperative abilities. He's recovering from something that's pretty severe. And we again are dealing with Neptune and Mercury. The chart is encouraging you and him to think out of the box. And there's something else here. There seems to be help coming from either a kid or a close friend, and that probably is going to help with dealing with your husband. Okay. And I think you had a specific question, didn't you, that was relative to yourself? So why don't
Yes, ma'am.
you go ahead and
Yes.
tell me that.
I was just wondering, if you saw any, well, you did say, you saw good things coming for us. I had written a screenplay and a children's story, and I was just wondering, I know I have a lot on my shoulders right now, and do you see me, do you see it ever coming forward and being sold, or?
Well, there are certainly, this is one. Go ahead and mute your mic. Okay.
Okay.
This is an interesting question, because one of the things you folks would understand or realize if you listen to the question is that question has many, many possibilities and almost becomes unanswerable. Okay. Is anything ever going to come of it? Yes, something's going to come of it. But we need to be more specific with it. Are you meaning, do you want to make money with it? Are you meaning, do you want to get the book published through a regular publishing agency? Are you meaning, do you want a television or movie or internet platform to pick up the screenplay? You've got this is something which has so many possibles. It would be like Samantha asking in her invention, is somebody going to want it? And, we have 50 million people in American households who would want it. Which one are we going to ask about? You see, we've got to be real specific on that question. Otherwise, the guides aren't going to know what you're asking, and you're going to not get a clear answer. So go ahead and unmute and see. You guys are learning how to ask us psychic questions through this. This is great.
Oh. Okay. I guess, would I be successful? Would it be sold? The screenplay, would it be like a motion picture? It's It's a true story based on actual events. And the children's story, you know, I know if you've never, this is what I've heard, if you've never gotten anything published, it's very hard to get a literary agent. But I know that expression, never say never, you know, and
Okay, time to move.
Okay.
Okay, that was a little bit better, but still not a great question. Okay, she said, will it ever get published, i.e. out there? And I got a yes. Will it become a motion picture? And I got probably no. But guess what? There are probably like at least 10 different ways that I can think of a screenplay becoming a video of some kind. So that was one of those questions that's not a good question. You see that? But we know at some point it's going to get published. So the answer is yes. But let me now just give you some channeled information from my guides. And this is for everyone here. If you want something, it is a good idea for you to ask yourself questions about precisely what it is you want. You see, the universe is always out there attempting to create your desires. You are a creator. But if you're not really, really clear on exactly what you want to manifest, and I don't mean the means of getting there, the universe can take care of the means. You don't have to worry about that. You just have to be clear on what you want, okay? Because if you're in the middle of saying, I want my manuscript to be published, that's pretty clear. But if halfway to I want my manuscript to be published, you go through a segue and you think about a brick and mortar publisher, and then you think about another segue and you're thinking about an agent, and then you have another segue and you wonder if you have a friend that can advise you, and you just lost it because the universe doesn't know which thing you want, you see? So you really, folks, and this is everybody on the call, if you want to manifest something in your life that's a real powerful desire for you, whether it has to do with your health or your relationship or where you're living, no matter what it has to do with, ask yourself those questions that are going to narrow down what it is you really, really want. Because when you have it narrowed down to the thing you really want, the universe is going to manifest for you that. It's going to bring you as many opportunities as you can possibly shake a stick at, just because you're now focused and you know what you want. Now, let me address the whole thing with the publishers, which is kind of interesting. The people that I know in the world today who really get themselves started and do good work with books that they publish start out, for the most part, publishing through Amazon or another platform like that, and they self-publish. And then they take advantage of either Amazon's marketing platform, or they hire a marketer, or they learn marketing themselves, and they go out and they market that book or that screenplay every place they can find. And when they get that book to a point where it is now receiving recognition, lo and behold, the agent or the real world brick and mortar publishing company comes forward and says, wow, we want you. So you just got a short version of how to get your screenplay published and recognized and eventually get that real world publisher, brick and mortar publisher's attention if you really want it. Because maybe at that point you'll find you never needed it. You might find that publishing on Amazon or a similar type of platform draws enough attention from the people who would develop a movie on Amazon Prime or on Netflix. Now you see, your guides won't see that as movies, it's not in the public theater. But wouldn't that make you happy too? See, that's why you really need to focus on what you want so that the universe knows what to deliver to you. Okay? Did that answer
Okay.
the question, I hope?
Yes, yes, it did. Yes.
To you. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
You're
It was
welcome.
good seeing you.
It's good to talk to you too.
You
And
take care.
we are at 10 o'clock, which is our time that we're ending. But I've gone a little long with a couple of people, so I would like to do one more person. So, Lisa, do we have anybody else? And incidentally, real quick, that gal who wasn't able to answer, we do have an answer to her question, whatever it would have been. And that is, you have to make the decision. You have to work outside of the framework that everybody else thinks is telling you you're supposed to do. You have to take a chance. You have to put yourself in the position of control. And there's a woman around you who's going to give you a lot of grief because she really doesn't like it. Okay. That was the last caller before this one that we couldn't either find her or she couldn't get her mic unmuted. But there's your answer. So who's our very last person for tonight, Lisa?
Well, actually, that is the person whose question I'm going to read.
Oh, good.
And I'm going to go ahead and I know you've answered. I'm going to go ahead and read it because, and everybody listen to this, because this is one of these questions that's going to hit so many of your callers tonight. And I think it's very, very important for them to hear how you're going to answer this. So this is from Cindy. Cindy is calling from Southern California. She is a Pisces. She's grateful for her health and being alive since she had COVID back in January. And it says, I believe I have been going through a notable spiritual awakening since 2019. My question is there any advice, Sandy, for my guides and yours to have for me to further develop my abilities? And I know there's a whole lot of people on this call that are going to benefit from this answer.
Okay, well, yes and no, Lisa. It depends on the answer. Some may like it, some may not. First of all, I want to say congratulations. I think that what's happening to you is, number one, absolutely an amazing transformation. I also know, because of my own studies and the work that I do, that our entire planet right now is going through an awakening, a speeding up of our vibration, which is literally moving us into a higher dimensional reality. You may not feel the change physically, but you're certainly becoming more clairvoyant, more clairsentient, more emotionally, physically, and psychically sensitive in so many ways. In a way, it's good that we have been locked down so that we can go through this transformation without having as much of the chaos of the outside world push at us as otherwise would have happened. And I've thought that many, many times, that this enforced isolation that so many of us have experienced has actually been helpful to our own development for many of you. Now, in your situation specifically, they're telling me that you are working very, very hard to try to help a man in your life. I don't know if this is husband or lover or good friend, but you're really trying to help this person get out of the hole that he's in. And unfortunately, you're trying to help that person to the point where you're neglecting yourself and the opportunities that have come your way through your work and your family and your home environment to develop yourself. That is causing you emotional stress that's getting in the way of your own steps forward as far as your own development, i.e., you would be developing skills and abilities at a far greater pace than you are if you were doing the things that you know you should be doing by yourself, for yourself, to develop those skills, instead of trying to drag this person into every belief and everything you've learned and everything you know, and trying to make them transform your way. Okay, please remember that. We all are going through this, but we're all going to go through it our own way. So you need to back off and have faith and trust. Put your energy into your own development. There are issues coming up for this person that probably have to do with his needing to make a really major change in his life out of a career that he thought was his career for life. He needs to be left alone to make those decisions. You are evolving in one way, and he is evolving in a whole different way. Okay? Sometimes you got to let go of something, and then, if it was meant to be yours, it comes back together after you've gone around the hurdle. This is one of those times. And feel free to give some feedback back in the chat room. If you have time, if you type fast, because we're getting ready to go offline, or you can write a note onto my website or onto my YouTube channel under the video when it goes up, and give the feedback there if you like. Folks, I really appreciate all of you being here with me this evening. You are a wonderful, wonderful, great group of people. You've had fabulous questions. You've got it together. You're moving forward into the new world that you're creating in your life in a wonderful, wonderful way. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing so much of yourselves with me this evening. And remember, if I didn't hit your question, you are welcome to email it to me or to Lisa anytime between now and tomorrow night at 9. 9 o'clock is the cutoff point tomorrow evening. And give me a week or so to get back to you, maybe a little longer because of the holiday in there. But I will write you back, I promise. Good night, everybody. You are all great and wonderful, and I'll see you next month. Have a great, great holiday and a wonderful month ahead. Good night.